So this is our first video. We'll start it off by just giving a basic introduction on dreadlocks and a description of videos to come, so it's more organized so you can find certain videos when you'll need them in the future when you might have a question. So dreadlocks require a lot of patience. You must have patience or this won't be for you. You'll spend a good 3 to 5 months looking kind of funny. They'll be all fuzzy and not quite mature. They'll have little bumps and whatnot. But it's nothing a little palm rolling and crocheting can't fix, which we'll explain in further videos. You'll want to shampoo frequently, especially when they're not matured yet, about every 2 to 3 days. With a residue-free shampoo. The least amount of chemicals possible, the better. You don't necessarily have to use a specific dread shampoo. Just do your research and read the back of most of your bottles and just make sure there's not any crazy chemicals that are going to damage your hair further while it's under the stress of being dreaded. You'll want to stay far away from conditioner unless you're looking to brush out your dreadlocks. Conditioner will soften them up and will be very counterproductive for dreading your hair. Your tools for this process is very important. You'll want the smallest crochet hook you can possibly find from the craft store. The smaller the better, just because it's easier to slide in the dreadlock to crochet in the loose pieces. I also used a flea comb, a fresh flea comb from the store, to actually create my dreadlocks. The back combing method, it works very, very well. Just be very gentle. You'll want to maintain your dreadlocks as much as possible, especially when they're very young. If you want them to mature quicker, you'll want to palm roll the whole day through every day. You'll want to crochet them to keep them tighter. The crocheting will actually help form them faster, but you don't want to try to do that too early while they're still very young. You'll want to try to do that about 3 months in, just to make them not look as funny. You'll also want to put only good things into your hair. Again, you want to stay away from harsh chemicals. I'll be posting a video of a little spray mist that I make for mine. And the contents of it, it's all things that are natural occurring for your hair. No chemicals or anything like that. It just kind of causes the hair to break and be brittle, and you don't want that for dreadlock. It's very, very bad. A lot of people use the little rubber bands to start their dreads and kind of help keep them separated. That's good, but you'll want to be very careful, and I actually wouldn't recommend using them, just because your dreads can kind of eat them, and when you go to cut them out, you might not get all of the pieces of rubber out, and then that'll be in your dread for ever. So I would just stay away from that and pay more closer attention to them, give them more maintenance than just tying the bands around them. It does help keep them separated, but again, I don't recommend it just because of getting them out might be a little bit more difficult, especially if they're very young. Oh, and back to the washing of the hair. You'll preferably want to do that in the mornings, just because it gives the dreads the whole day to dry instead of sleeping on them when they're wet. Also, when you do wash them, you might want to, if they're taking a little bit longer to dry, kind of run on a very, very light setting your hair dryer. Kind of hold it far away from them and take a very slow process drying them, just to make sure that they don't stay wet, especially if you go to put your hair up for work or whatever. You'll definitely want to make sure they're dry so they don't create a mildew. That'd be very scary. You don't want that. There's ways to get rid of that as well. We'll go over in another video, but just make sure that they're drying properly and that you don't have anything going on in there. Dyeing dreadlocks is another video I'll be posting in the future. Very important, very special. You don't want to use too harsh of chemical dyes. You'll want to sort of mix your own, and we'll go over that in a future video. Just kind of stay away from the boxed kind. They're full of chemicals, very, very harsh for your hair generally. Manic Panic is actually pretty good. It's a vegan-based dye, so it doesn't have the harsh chemicals in them. So we'll go over a few other types of dyes that are good to use for them. So basically, you just want to love your dreadies, give them lots of attention, wash them frequently, make sure they're drying well. Don't put any harsh chemicals in them, no conditioner. And just keep palm rolling and crocheting when appropriate time. And you'll have beautiful dreads over time. It takes a good 5 to 8 months for them to start looking very nice, so be patient. And stay tuned for more videos on how to do certain things with your dreadlocks. Thank you!